Welcome to the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G bonafide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here is G Money Grant Mitchell. He can probably catch a football better than Marvin Harrison Jr. and throw a ball better than Kyler Murray. And you can't teach that. Bada boom, man. The people in the room. G Money Grant Mitchell. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. The Cardinals, they let me down yesterday. Never really had high hopes for either team, but I did end up making a friendly wager with one of my buddies. We are in an college football online dynasty together, and he, as of maybe 3 days ago, got a Pro Football Focus Plus subscription, and ever since then, he has just been bombarding us with things that I'm sure that they put in their daily newsletters. And he was talking about how Sam Darnold was going to dominate the Cardinals' too high shell and all this. I was like, dude, you're just reciting what PFF is telling you. So we made a bet. Whenever we play each other next in our league, he had the Seahawks, I had the Cardinals. The winner got to pick one player from the loser's team to bench when we play each other. So I have a feeling he's going to bench my quarterback when we play each other because I did have the Cardinals and they ended up on the wrong side. But other than that, it's Friday. I'm doing all right.
Have you been playing a lot of video games lately?
Not at all. Not at all.
I've fallen off. I wish I could get back on the horse a little bit, but I've just fallen off the video game train. I need to get back on it. But anyways, Kyler Murray, it's amazing he's in the NFL. It's amazing. Like Marvin Harrison, it makes sense why he's in the NFL. Even though he can't catch the football, he hopefully will be able to catch the football someday. Kyler Murray, he is beating the odds. It's crazy.
He's also terrible. He's not beating the odds in the way Baker Mayfield is beating the odds.
He's too short. This
is
like
too short. Yeah.
This is like when, I don't want to be mean here. I don't want to be mean. But you know the videos where the kid with cancer or whatever, the little short kid.
Is this the blind kid?
The blind kid. I don't know. There's some special needs kid, and they put him in the huddle at the spring game, and they get to run down and score a touchdown. Kyler Murray looks like that size in the pocket.
I was watching the game, and Kyler Murray.
That's what I thought of.
Kyler Murray's he's the same size that he's been since he got to the NFL. But for whatever reason, last night and maybe it's because I don't watch the Cardinals super intently. I try to keep up with every game every week, obviously, because it's part of the job. But I'm not breaking down the all 22 for the Cardinals every week. He looks so scared. He looks so scared. He looks so small. He's jumpy. Again, it's the same way he's always been, but I think it also might just be that we've seen him for long enough, and it's kind of like we've been waiting to see this number one pick, this takeover player, Heisman winner. We're waiting to see the NFL, and it's not happening. And I think it's really time the NFL world acknowledges that. We acknowledge that Kyler Murray is not a good quarterback. We acknowledge that he should not be paid like one, and really, I'm not sure. He's better than some guys out there, yes, but is he a starting level player in the NFL for the long term? Maybe if you're one of these bottom feeder teams, but those teams are just waiting to draft their next quarterback.
I mean, he's definitely not a backup. I would never want him as my backup. I don't want a 5'2" backup because I look at these quarterbacks that have long backup careers. They're usually prototypical quarterback builds because they can run your scout team. They can help you in other areas too. Where Kyler Murray, I mean, there's not one quarterback in the NFL that he can resemble on a scout team, but he's making 5 years, $230.5 million deal. He signed that at the beginning of the 2023 season. That's highway robbery. That is, if he can get paid that to play football, it's crazy. And Kyler Murray, honestly, is proof that anything can work in college. Like any kind of player can work in college. It's 18-year-olds that don't follow scheme because when you get to the NFL, he's not that guy. And I think when he first came in, it was probably a lot tougher to defend him. Now it's easy. You collapse the pocket in, he runs outside, and you have
hands up on the line.
Yeah, hands up on the well, he can't see over the line of scrimmage. That's mean, Grant. Like he's too short. He's legit.
Well, he got 2 balls batted in the first quarter last night.
Because he's too short. And he's jumpy because he needs to see over the offensive lineman. Like he needs to jump to see where the receivers are. He throws off his back foot. It's terrible. It's disgusting.
There are a bunch of people who will argue that Kyler passes some of the advanced analytics tests, and that may have held true before. But if I'm looking at these teams right now, and I'm going to rule out injuries, for example, I'm going to say the Bengals quarterback is Joe Burrow, even though it's Jake Browning right now. But if I'm just looking at the teams, do I want Kyler Murray over who they have? I'll take Kyler Murray over Justin Fields. I'll take
that's tight.
AFC North. For the long term, I'd take Kyler Murray over Joe Flacco. I guess I would take Kyler Murray over Joe Flacco, so I'll give that 2. AFC South, there's nobody there. I don't think Kyler's better than Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's better than Daniel Jones. I don't think
he's better
than
CJ Stroud.
No, he's not. No,
CJ Stroud is terrible.
CJ Stroud is terrible, but Kyler, I would much rather have CJ Stroud than Kyler Murray.
Kyler did more last night than CJ Stroud has done all season, and Kyler was terrible last night.
Well, it's week 4, so maybe CJ Stroud is a good week 4. AFC West, I like Kyler Murray. I like everybody there better than you might argue Geno. I like Geno better than I like Kyler. NFC West, there's nobody. I think he's the worst in his division. I think Sam Darnold is proving that. Got to give a shout out to Sam Darnold. NFC South, Spencer Rattler is honestly the conversation to have there. Bryce Young's the conversation. I'd take Kyler over Bryce Young.
Oh, yeah, any day.
I'd take him over Spencer Rattler. So we're at 4. In the NFC North, I'd take him over JJ McCarthy, although that's almost a little unfair because McCarthy's gotten like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then in the NFC East, I don't think I would take anybody. I would take out. So yeah, I've got maybe 5 teams I think Kyler could start for. Other than that, I think he's down. And so that puts him at what, like 27th, 28th in the NFL?
We've been mean to Kyler this morning so far in our first 6 minutes of the podcast, but I want to close this by saying there are some things that he can do that's pretty impressive. But like last night, that scramble late in the game where he cut through the middle of the field, went up, probably got 15 yards there. There was one where he got around on the sideline. Like he had a couple nice scrambles, but that's what he needs to do more of. Like he needs to be so he's very indecisive. If it's not there down the field, run, take off. Don't slide at the line of scrimmage after holding the ball in the pocket and jumping around a little bit. There's some things that he can do well. I think he can be a successful NFL quarterback, but the scheme has to be immaculate. And whatever scheme they're running, it does not work with him right now.
I mean, everything's coming out so fast. The ball's getting out. There's no deep threat at all. And maybe part of that's Marvin Harrison as well. Maybe it is scheme related as well. But he does have to be in almost the perfect situation, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, shout out Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was crying in the end zone last night when he caught that touchdown. He was legit. That touchdown brought him to tears because he's been that bad.
He's in his own head. That's the only way that I can say, because I don't think he's a bust. He's good enough to not be a bust. How about that? And he had 900 yards, 8 touchdowns as a rookie. Like those are good numbers for a rookie. He can be a very good player. It's not like somebody who gets to the NFL and you realize they had no hope. Marvin Harrison can still be elite, but we're starting to talk about him like he's a Make-A-Wish kid. It was a Bolitnikoff winner, 4th pick in the draft. Yeah, it's nice that he battled back from a bad start and he had a good finish to the game and all this stuff. But like at the end of the day, go produce. I'm not here for the sob stories.
Yeah, but like also he just needs to catch the ball. The thing is, these college kids that get to the NFL, and I'm not saying Marvin Harrison is a bust or anything, but Harrison is a big last name, obviously. So let's call him Johnson. Let's make his name Marvin Johnson, and no resemblance, no blood to any NFL players. You're probably talking about even worse than you are right now, or you're not even focusing on him. It's one or the other. And the thing about Ohio State, you play cupcakes 8 times a year, and a couple of your tough games are like Penn State, who can't beat you. So, we'll see what happens moving forward with him. Made some big catches down the stretch. He covered my live bet last night. That was all thanks to him. So appreciate that, but he was terrible early in the game.
Yeah, and even if he did have a strong finish, we were talking about this before we started recording. There's an argument to be made the Cardinals win this game if he catches that first pass because they're down near the 30, 35 or so. He drops it. It's an interception. The Seahawks return it to wherever, the 40, the 30. The counter argument to that, which you also said off there, is the interception with the Seahawks immediately fumbled. They give it right back. Those two plays are so strange. They kind of equally or cancel each other out. But that fumble had already happened at that point in the game. So if we are just looking at it objectively, say Marvin Harrison catches that ball, Cardinals probably win the game, or at least they're in a better position to.
Better position. The Seahawks didn't do anything to impress me last night. They controlled the game. They took advantage of mistakes that the Cardinals made, but they didn't put Arizona away, and that's why it was a close game down the stretch. Very exciting game, but we got a lot of exciting games on Sunday, Grant. Before we talk about those, though, check out WSN.com, the World Sports Network. We are presented by WSN. You get your sports betting picks, your promo codes, your articles on there. You get everything you need to be a successful sports bettor on WSN.com. And also the Ride the Line podcast. We are here every Tuesday, Friday, uploading clips pretty much every day now. So Grant, tell the people why they need to subscribe to Ride the Line.
Yeah, guys, 100%. Obviously, we're breaking down the biggest games of the week. We get to make fun of Kyler Murray and whoever else has stunk it up in the primetime games, but we also do share our favorite betting picks. We talk about spreads from every game of the week. Today on this show and on future Friday shows, we talk about some big standout player props for the Sunday games, the Sunday nights, the Monday nights. And then we'll give you some Thursday night picks as well on the early shows, the Tuesday shows. Clips are coming out pretty much every day, like Tanner said. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We've seen the number going up. We appreciate the new viewers who are here. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't hit that subscribe button, well, clearly you like us because you've already waited 10 minutes. So hit the subscribe button. Make sure you never miss out on the upcoming videos.
That's right, Grant. So we're going to break down a few games on the pod today, starting with America's game of the week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Philadelphia Eagles. Two undefeated NFC West powers coming together to battle with their undefeated streaks on the line. Tampa game, 3.5 point underdog. That line has been stable all week long. The 3.5 points kind of gets me feeling some type of way. You know, my gut says the Eagles are going to dominate this game, but my gut also says Baker Mayfield does not get blown off the field. So, Grant, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm sorry. Did you say NFC West powers are coming to meet?
What was that? NFC powers. I didn't say NFC West powers.
I thought you said NFC West. I think you might still be caught up on Thursday night.
Maybe. I don't think I said NFC West. I thought I just said NFC powers.
We'll review the tape. Get the automated replay. We'll get a ruling on that. Comment section. Let us know. What's the official play? Is that a flag on the play or not? So my opinions before we get into props and picks and stuff like that. My general outlook on this game. I'm worried about the Bakers. I'm worried about the Buccaneers offensive lines, potentially missing 3 starting offensive linemen against a defense with this level of talent. Forget how they're playing because they're actually not playing very well right now. The Eagles, I want to say, are like in the bottom 10 in the NFL for pressure generated, which for that defensive line is horrible because knowing the talent they have. But still, that level of talent against 3 backup offensive linemen, that does spell trouble. Also, the Eagles do a great job of keeping things in front of them. There's talks that Chris Godwin could be back for this game. We don't know at the time that we are recording it. But Mike Evans, he's doubtful. It's almost inevitable that he will be ruled out. So maybe Godwin comes in, maybe he doesn't. Maybe Godwin and Evans are out, and now it's just Egbuka going against a secondary that, like I said, does a very good job of keeping everything in front of them. Quinyon Mitchell did a terrific job on Devontae Adams last week. Now it's going to be an exciting matchup between 2 up-and-coming stars at their respective positions. But still, I think the Bucs are going to be forced to have this more patient style of offense that the Eagles did to a lot of teams last year. They frustrate teams by making them take the 4 or 5 yard pass. Baker's an aggressive guy who wants to throw the ball down the field, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. On the flip side, the Eagles offense has been pretty horrible this entire year. For let's see, we've played 3 games so far. So for 10 and a half quarters, Jalen Hurts has just been pathetic. But then all of a sudden, I almost feel like either Sirianni took over the play calling duties or Jalen was calling the plays because the passing game looked totally different in that second half against the Rams. If they carry that into this game, then there's no reason why they can't come out and score 27, 30 points in this game. But if they're going to revert to what they were in the first 2.5 games, then we're looking at this as like a first team to 14 wins this game. That's my thoughts on just the overall game.
Yeah, well, they had to throw the ball in the second half too. And that's why I said on the podcast last week, the Eagles have the capability to throw the football. I mean, you trash Jalen Hurts all the time. You love trashing Jalen Hurts, but he can throw the football down the field. He has A.J. Brown. He has Devontae Smith. They just choose not to do it. Just because he has Saquon Barkley, he's punished because, he has a great running back where he doesn't need to throw the ball all the time. Last week he did. I think this week they're going to kind of revert back to where they were because I don't think they're going to be in a situation where they have to necessarily air the ball out down the field. I think the Buccaneers on the flip side are going to be in a situation where they have to throw to keep pace in this game. Saquon Barkley, though, has not been great. They haven't been able to establish the run game really with him. Teams are keying on him. So I think as we move through the season, we're going to see Jalen Hurts' numbers start to go up because they're going to have to from a throwing perspective and a running perspective. And again, A.J. Brown, he's so hard to stop. I think this is going to be another week where he goes off. And this was the same trajectory that they had last season. Start the season slow from a passing perspective. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts complain, they're not friends anymore. We get that whole news cycle going through, and then A.J. Brown pops off and has the kind of game he had last week. So the Eagles team is just, we're back in that cycle. They're going to figure it out on both sides of the ball. This could be the week they do it. But I also, if the Bucs win this game, wouldn't surprise me one bit. I'm kind of in that boat.
Yeah, I'm with you too that I do think it will be competitive. I think it could be a little back and forth. I think the Bucs could go up 7-0 and then it's 17-7 Philadelphia and then we're tied at 17. I think it could be a game sort of like that. Ultimately, I would say if I am to give a spread pick here, probably not going to be betting this because I do think it is very close. I would probably be taking the Eagles at -3.5, but really it's the 3.5 that's really throwing me off here. If we can get this to -3, I would feel better about it. I do just think that health plays a part in it. And as much as I do like to, maybe trash is the correct word, I would say fairly point out the flaws of the Eagles, because everything I've said about Jalen refusing to throw the ball down the field, the offensive scheme issues, everything has been accurate. Yet they always find ways to overcome it. They have championship pedigree. You saw that last weekend more than anything, more than you'll ever see it. And with the Bucs, they're undefeated. All of their wins have been at the very last second. And I don't know if the Eagles will give them the opportunity to do it in this game. So, yeah.
I'll go with the Buccaneers +3.5. I think Baker's a dog. I don't love the play. I don't love it by any means, but I think defensively the Bucs fly around. They're going to be good enough to keep Tampa Bay in the game from an offensive perspective. And the Buccaneers offensive line has been an issue, but at the same time too, you look at what Baker's been able to do in the pocket with his feet, extending plays. They got a championship DNA too down in Tampa Bay. It's a big game. The Bucs do own the Eagles. That's one thing that we're forgetting here. Tampa Bay, Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield own the Philadelphia.
They retired Jason Kelce.
That they're the one team that really does own the Eagles. Like they smack them around every time they play playoffs, regular season. It doesn't matter. Like last year, a lot of people expected the Eagles to go on the road and beat Tampa last year. Absolutely got smacked by the Bucs at home. So I think this is a spot where it wouldn't be any surprise if the Bucs win. I think this is probably the Eagles' game to win, but I'll take the 3.5 points with Tampa Bay.
All right, let me get into some player props here because I got some good ones. I really like these. Saquon Barkley under 77.5 rushing yards. You said he has not been good this season. That is a lie. He has actually been atrocious. And I don't take shots at Saquon personally. I'm not taking away anything he's done before this point in his career. He has been awful this season. He's averaging 3.3 yards per carry. That is horrible. This is crazy. Do you know who has, among qualified running backs, do you know who has the worst attempts per broken tackle mark? Saquon Barkley.
Wait. Can I say something?
Huh.
Yeah, you disrespect him a little bit too much there. He was great in the Cowboys game. Like the numbers weren't great, but his ability to extend plays on third down were unbelievable. Whether it was a 3-yard carry or a 2-yard carry, he was dead in the backfield half time and found a way to get through. He was great in that game.
He's last in the whole NFL in attempts per broken tackle. He is the least elusive running back in the entire NFL.
I think that's because how they use him. I don't think that's his fault.
Well, regardless of how it is, he has to get to 77.5 rushing yards. I don't think he's doing it. Tampa Bay, based on EPA per play, far and away the best run defense in the NFL. They allowed the 5th fewest yards per carry at just 3.6. I don't think this is going anywhere. And even if Saquon was playing great, you know what teams are going to be saying? We got to stack the box. Jalen Hurts doesn't want to throw the football. You stop Saquon. You stop the Eagles. That's how you beat them. And the difference is Tampa has the defensive line to handle the Saquon piece of it. But if they're going to go man coverage, when Jalen starts to run, they have the speed with the linebackers in the middle of the field that they can get to Jalen, and then they have the sure-handedness to actually tackle him. Like you were talking about the Cowboys game. The Cowboys did a really good job defending the Eagles, but it was the Jalen Hurts scrambles that killed them. The Bucs can stop that. So those things go hand in hand. And I'm going to let you get to your picks in a second. I'm actually going to roll that over because it fits perfectly to Jalen Hurts over 188.5 passing yards. Coming off of what he did last weekend, considering how dominant the Bucs run defense is, how slow of a day I expect Saquon to have, they've got to move the ball somehow. And I think that means Jalen Hurts goes over on the passing.
I love both those picks. I think Jalen Hurts has a better chance to go over than Saquon has to go under, if that makes sense. Like, I do think Saquon's going to go under, but if I had to pick one, I'm taking Jalen over the passing yards there. And I think A.J. Brown's going to have another big game. I'm going to be on the other side of it when it comes to props here. First off, I love Baker Mayfield to throw an interception this game. And I hate to bring those bad vibes, that bad juju to my quarterback, Baker Mayfield. But he has no interceptions this year. There's been so many passes. I don't know if you've watched the Buccaneers much, but there have been so many passes that should have been picked off.
The Falcons game, he should have had 2 or 3.
Like, he throws it just like a hair behind his receiver a lot of the time. Like, not too far, but like if the ball's got to be on my chest, it's like back here. And there's been multiple times where defenders just have said, hey, I don't need to pick this one off right now. He probably should have 3 interceptions on the season at least. So I think Baker Mayfield over a half an interception is great, especially with the offensive line situation for the Bucs. He's going to have pressure. He's going to be on the move. He's also going to have to be forcing balls down the field just because of the situation he's in, I think, in this game against the Eagles. So I'll take him over a half an interception. The numbers don't do it justice there. The 0 interceptions. I'll also take him over his rushing yards in this game at 17.5. He averages 38.7. And I think the reason this total is a little lower than the average, I would think it'd be more in the 20s, is just because the way the Eagles play defense, they're going to rush for it. They're going to have a shell. It's going to be hard to get through. But Baker's going to be scrambling in this game, whether it's because of pressure, whether he's just trying to make plays down the field. He has been so clutch ripping off these big gains this season. That's the 2 ways he's really played is, ripping off big games, extending plays with his legs, just because he really hasn't thrown for that many yards. And he's also been very close to throwing interceptions. So I think both those things will be true once again on Sunday. And if you want to parlay him, go for it. It's probably a pretty good play.
So I'm going to take that. I like that Baker play a lot. And it actually fits very well with another one of my plays. And it speaks to the style of defense that the Eagles play. I'm trying to get their blitz percentage. So give me just 1 second here, because I would expect them to be very low. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it, but the Eagles, they just don't. Oh wait, okay, I think I got it here. Sorry, technical difficulties. Where are the Eagles? I lied. I can't find it. Okay, bottom line is the Eagles like to keep everybody in front of them. That's the way they play. They don't stack the box. They're gonna play quarters. They're gonna drop people back, rush the 4, like you said. So they might allow you to complete the ball, but it's gonna be short. It's gonna be intermediate, and then you got to work up off of that. So for that reason, Bucky Irving over 3.5 receptions for plus money for plus 118. So he's gone over in every game this season. He's had at least 4 receptions in every game. And again, if that's the style the Eagles are going to play, plus the Bucs having that banged up offensive line, oh my goodness, Jalen Carter has just ripped right through the center. I got to get rid of this ball. Let me check it down to Bucky Irving right there. That could easily happen a couple of times in that game. So we're already at 2 based off of the Eagles taking advantage of the Bucs' injured offensive line. And then you've got maybe 1 route designed or 1 play designed for Bucky, and you've got 1 screen. And there's your 4 receptions right there for plus money.
My one fear with Bucky just in general is how they use him. Like, they beat him up. They don't work in Rachaad White enough. Bucky is taking such a beating out there, whether it's in the run game, the pass game. Like, they use him so much. I do like the play, but that's a fear for me moving forward as a Bucs supporter there. I don't want Bucky to be gone too early.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's one of those situations where, like, he's so good. He really is, that you want him on the field, but you got to protect him as well.
Yeah. So I only have the 2 props in that game, Grant. You had the 3. Ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the next game.
So the next game we got on here, huge game, probably one of the biggest, of the weekend, just in the course of the NFL right now. We got the Ravens and the Chiefs, 4:25 kickoff. Lamar Jackson going to Arrowhead, where he is incapable of winning a football game. Derrick Henry is incapable of holding onto the football now. And you have a Chiefs team that is struggling, coming off a win against the Giants. The Chiefs own Lamar Jackson. The numbers are scary. I don't have the record in front of me, but the Kansas City Chiefs own Lamar Jackson. This is a game where both teams desperately need a win, like to a point where if you lose this game, we're going to be talking, season on the line a little bit for each side. So, Grant, where do you see this one going?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. First of all, one of these teams is going to be 1-3, which is a crazy thought to have, unless they tie. And then they'll be 1-2-1, but still they'll have losing records through 4 weeks of football, which is something that I don't know that we've said about either one of these teams for the last 6, 7, however long years. So as far as who needs a win more, I would say the Ravens, because I think they can accomplish more this season. I think the Chiefs are hard capped. I think the championship game streak is coming to an end. I don't think they have a hope of getting there. I don't think they have a hope of getting to the Super Bowl. With the Ravens, it's still very much you stop giving up big plays on defense, you can win the Super Bowl. That's still the trajectory they are on. If you lose here, that derails all of it. For the Chiefs side of things, their defense has been keeping them in games, but if you look at the numbers, the defense actually really hasn't been that good. It just kind of speaks to how bad and ineffective the offense has been. Now, Xavier Worthy could be back for this game. That's going to help. But we also discuss Xavier Worthy as if he's a life changer. He's kind of a glorified gadget player who will be coming back for the first time off of an injury. So I really don't know how much we think he's going to change. He doesn't change the way defenses have to honor you or defend anything. Mahomes has actually been one of the worst deep ball throwers in the NFL over the last couple of seasons. He took a couple of shots to Tyquan Thornton. He hit on one of them, but he missed on a couple of them, one of which was a walk-in touchdown, and he just completely missed him. And the Chiefs can't run the ball at all. We know that about them. So really, I still look at this. It's frustrating, but the Ravens, I still look at them as the better team. I get it. Lamar can't win in Arrowhead. He hasn't done it. He always loses to the Chiefs. This has to be the time. And I feel like we've said that a couple of times before, but this has to be the time. The Ravens are so much better than the Chiefs are right now. So I would take them at -2.5. And if they lose it, then I might just have to give up on the Ravens forever.
So while I agree with you that they are better, this whole have to be the time narrative does not work when you're playing against the Chiefs right now, at least, because I can't tell you how many games with the Bills and the Ravens we've said this has to be the time that they beat the Chiefs, and then they always continue to pull through. This is a game that if I'm playing it, like I probably would rather like tease the Chiefs to 10.5 if I could get that number, if the spread continues to climb up a little bit, because I don't necessarily feel comfortable with them winning the game. But when you look at the numbers, Lamar Jackson against the Chiefs, 1-5 overall. He is 0-1 in the playoffs. He's 0-3 at Arrowhead Stadium. He's had 9 touchdowns, 7 turnovers in his game against them, in his career against them. And when you say this has to be the year that they get it done, why does it have to be the year? Like, I look at the Ravens last year. I thought that had to be the year last year. They beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. They go in, they beat the Chiefs, and they obviously continue to turn the ball over. This has to be the year that Lamar Jackson plays a clean playoff game. And I'm not saying he was terrible last year in the playoffs, but he did have a big turnover that led to a score for the Bills. And then we all know the story with Mark Andrews. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to do it. I don't trust this Ravens team after what they've done against the Bills. I don't trust them after what they did against the Lions last week. And you can say it's must win all you want, but Lamar Jackson folds against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I can't get behind I'm going to have the prove me wrong narrative. Like, go in, prove me wrong, but I'll take the Chiefs.
So when I say this has to be the time, I'm not talking from a narrative standpoint so much as this is the worst the Chiefs have been by far. This is the first time where I can look at the Ravens and say, you clearly have a better team than the Chiefs.
Last year, too. I think everybody had a better team than the Chiefs last year.
It was still closer. And in that game, so Lamar in that game, let's not forget, had 400 yards of total offense. That was the Isaiah Likely toenail out of bounds play at the end of the fourth quarter. If that doesn't happen, we're in overtime. The Ravens are rolling at that point in the game. They have a great chance to win. And I get it. Those are the margins that have separated a dynasty like the Chiefs from the challenger like the Bills, like the Ravens. But Chiefs are not that team anymore. And I feel like the Ravens still have that talent, maybe even more talent now. Obviously, hasn't been a great start to the season on defense, but Derrick Henry, don't fumble the football. Don't give up a 50-yard play. Don't give up a 72-yard run to David Montgomery, and you can win this game.
They have the worst defense in the NFL, the worst passing defense. I think the Ravens are second worst behind the Cowboys. It's insane. So I don't know. I think the Chiefs might get lit up. I think Chiefs might be able to light them up a little bit this week. And I think they have to. Like, I'll just get right into my props right now. My first prop is going to be Patrick Mahomes over 238.5 passing yards. I think there's multiple ways this can be hit. First off, it can be due to the Ravens just, boat racing them early, and the Chiefs have to throw the ball, and you got Xavier Worthy back, and you got Travis Kelce, and you get a little something going because of how bad the Ravens secondary and defense overall has been this season. I mean, looking what Jared Goff did to them last week, and you got guys running wide open down the field. Like it's just embarrassing. And the Lions were able to run the football effectively too. So I don't think this is a good spot here for the Ravens defensively on the road. So if Patrick Mahomes is going to pop off, this is the week you do it. And when you're the Chiefs, you got to put the game in somebody's hands this week against a really talented football team in Baltimore. You're going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. So I think over 238.5. And I also think he could hit this if they control the game too. Because as you were saying, they struggle to run the ball, and the Ravens just give up a ton of yards through the air. So I'll take Mahomes over 238.5 passing yards. I also like him over 1.5 passing touchdowns. No matter what the Ravens do in this football game, they're not going to fix their secondary overnight. There's going to be changes that are going to have to be made over the course of the season. I know they had a lot of injuries last week. I don't know necessarily who's coming back and who's healthy and stuff, but Kyle Hamilton will be the big one. Is he back this week? Do you know?
But I don't know for sure. I think he is, but I'll check for you.
Whether he's back or not, though, Mahomes is going to have a big game here because the Ravens' defense has just been terrible. And what a leopard doesn't change its stripes or spots. Well, we were debating this.
Yeah,
I think they're interchangeable.
Kyle Hamilton's fine.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. So Kyle Hamilton's back. I'll take the over.
So I am going to take, believe it or not, I'm going to take 2 rushing props. So the first one, I'm going to go Lamar Jackson over 46.5 rushing yards. We complained that the Ravens have not been running Lamar enough. Todd Monken at his press conference the other day said that he said something to the effect of, we don't feel like we did a good enough job getting the running game going against the Lions. It's like, well, hey, you've got the best running quarterback in that. You've literally got a running back at quarterback who averages like 7 yards a carry for his NFL career going against. So get this, the Chiefs and the Ravens, both as far as EPA and success rate, are bottom 4 rushing defenses. Now the Chiefs are 11th in yards per carry allowed at 4, but those advanced numbers tell us as far as the actual game flow, they don't do a good job of handling the situations. The Ravens, they're down at 25th in yards allowed per carry. They allow 4.9 yards per carry. So bad run defenses. I feel like there could be a surprising amount of runs in this game. So I will take Lamar on the over. I don't want to go with Derrick Henry because I feel like the Chiefs will probably make it a priority to corral him. And also, I just don't know how to feel about Henry. Had the sensational week 1, bad week 2, bad week 3. So kind of waiting for him to stabilize. But I do think Lamar is going to get extra looks because Todd Monken said it's got to be a priority. And then Isaiah Pacheco, this dude is awful at football, but over 34.5 rushing yards. He got 10 carries in each of the last 2 weeks. If he gets 10 carries again, can he average 3.5 yards per carry? With Nnamdi Madubuike out he's got the neck injury still. He's already been ruled out. He's not playing without that big hog in the center of the defensive line. Again, the Ravens giving up 4.9 yards per carry. This should not be difficult for a starting running back in the NFL. So I'll take those 2.
Just call him a big hog.
Yeah, he's a big dude, big boar, big bear.
Big hog.
Yeah.
I think of something else when you say big
All
hog.
right. That's your problem, not mine.
You know what? That's good plays by you. I think Lamar Jackson, the point to the run game over 45.5, whatever number you can get. I think he needs to go over that. Like Monken was saying, he's got to get involved because they're trying to make him into this Tom Brady pocket passer quarterback. He's not that. He can definitely pick you apart from the pocket, but when you take away an element of his game, it makes defenses not have to worry about his legs. When I felt like that last week against the Lions, there was no designed runs. Like, you're on the goal line. I get it. You're going to run the ball 3 times with Derrick Henry. Give your quarterback a shot. Let's run read option. Let's make them defend 2 rushers instead of just 1.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, do we have anything else on this game before we move on here?
No, I think we're good to go to the next one.
To the next one, we go. Another big game here. This is Sunday Night Football. Micah Parsons makes his return to Dallas, playing for the Green Bay Packers here. Packers are a 7-point favorite. This game should not be close. I think the Packers will find a way to come in and dominate it, especially after what happened to them last week with the Cleveland Browns. Speaking of bad defense, we were just talking about with the Chiefs, the Cowboys have the worst defense in the NFL. They have the worst defensive coordinator in Matt Eberflus. He's not capable of coaching outside of peewee midget football. So, Grant, how do you see this game playing out?
Well, sorry, Pee-wee midget football. Did you know the Cowboys this season have run zone defense on 97% of plays? There is literally no variation. It's not difficult to game plan for them. That's why Russell Wilson can throw for 450 yards. That's why Caleb Williams looks like the second coming of a higher power. That everybody can do that. And between Russell Wilson, Caleb Williams, and Jordan Love is the best quarterback. I'm not the biggest Jordan Love guy in the world. He is 10 times better than those other two, maybe 5 times better than Caleb. I still don't know how good Caleb is. But Jordan Love is the best one.
Yeah, yes, no. Like we talk about Jordan Love, like we talk about Mike Vrabel. Like they're very similar. Mike Vrabel's a guy, never won anything. He's been to one AFC championship game, and we talk about him like he's the greatest coach ever. Jordan Love's never won anything. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers. He's serviceable. He's a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? To be determined, but he ain't the best quarterback in the world by any means.
I like the comparison.
Yeah.
I do. He's better than Russ, and he's better than Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb could be better someday. Never know.
Maybe one day. But point being, the Packers are coming off a day where they got nothing going against the Cleveland Browns, who once again, Browns have a Super Bowl defense, a middle school offense. I don't know at what point we're finally going to get that sorted out, but they're going to be pissed with how that ended. They're going to be shocked at the difference in quality between that Browns defense and this Cowboys defense. I actually made a chart. I recently started dabbling in some chart making. You know, on Twitter, you see the graphs with like the different teams and where they rank and everything and different. So I made a chart that plotted pass defense efficiency when you don't generate pressure. So how the Cowboys are like twice worse than the second worst team and 3 times worse than the third worst team. They are horrendous if they're not getting the quarterback on the ground. And the Packers offensive line has been solid this year. The Packers might not have a true number 1 guy, but they've got 6 different number 2s, all of whom have 4.2, 4.3 speed. They are going to light this team up. They can run the ball effectively. You force the Cowboys to sink down, then you hit them over the top. Micah Parsons, I can say for a fact, is getting a sack in this game. Might be a forced fumble, might be 2, might be 3 sacks. We know that he loves the fans, but we know he's got bitterness towards the team and the owner. And apparently some of the players had turned on him a little bit too. This is going to be nasty. This is going to be a slaughter, just like it was when the Packers beat the Cowboys in the playoffs a couple of years ago, where it was like 48-10 at one point.
I think Micah Parsons a little baby back. You know what? Jerry was giving him $40-something million. It's not like Jerry was shorting him by any means.
Well, I don't think that's the problem. The problem is that Jerry just refused to talk to his agent. And Mike said, look, everybody's got a job. We all know you're the owner. I'm the player. This is my agent. Go talk to him. And Jerry refused.
I don't know whose side I'm taking. I think there's he said, she said on both sides, but it's not like Jerry disrespected him with the money that he supposedly offered him. So, Micah Parsons, bad blood, whatever, who cares? I'll take every Jordan Love prop I can get. I'll take him over the passing yards of 232.5. I'll take him under an interception at -125. That's a good value play right there, because they're either going to be up so much he's not going to be taking chances down the field, or he's going to just be lighting them up and the Cowboys can't do anything unless we get a bad beat and there's a tip pass or something. Pass completions, I don't love the completions. I don't think he's going to throw the ball a ton in this game if the game script plays out that way, but he could get to 232.5 pretty quickly. What Caleb had, what? Did Caleb have close to 300 in the first half last week?
I don't know about the first half, but I think he did finish with like 280, 290 something.
It was close to 200 in the first
half. 298.
Yeah, so it's close to 200 in the first half, and then he threw for another 100 in the second half. Crazy stuff. So, I mean, Jordan Love can easily do that. If I'm Matt LaFleur, I'm coming out. I want to run up the score a little bit. I want to show why I'm that guy and why I'm that guy offensively, with how he calls plays and all that. They don't need to run the ball. Give Josh Jacobs a little break this week. Let your receivers get some work. This is a perfect week for your receivers to get some work, because they haven't necessarily been doing that a ton. They've been running the football. They're working play action. Come out, sling the football. Show me why Jordan Love's that guy against a bad defense that you're going to beat.
Yeah, I'm also on Jordan Love over 232.5 passing yards. And then a little bit of a value play. The Cowboys I think are going to score at one point in the game. No CeeDee Lamb, by the way. Another reason to take the Packers -7 there. But I feel like they will score at least one touchdown. And considering Javonte Williams has been good on the ground, been scoring, you can get him for about +145, +150 odds. The value on that is attractive to me. But as far as my favorite prop, definitely the love over.
And you know what I'll take too? I kind of like Dak over 241.5.
Listen, there's nothing more that Dak loves in this world than going for 60 yards in the first half and 250 in the second.
No, yes, you probably get a good live number on this, but Dak's going to have to throw the ball. The Cowboys will be playing from behind. And I know you don't have CeeDee Lamb, but I look at what CeeDee Lamb has done so far this season, even going back to the first game against the Eagles. Not that he threw for a ton in that game, but he was still finding people down the field that were open. Like Dak's been able to find other guys this year. You still have Pickens out there, obviously. I think this is a game where Dak has to throw. I think Jordan Love has to throw. I think it could be an over kind of game, over 47.5. I don't know if I want to play that, but both quarterbacks going to come out slinging the football in this one.
I'm going to stay off of Dak because of some of the offensive line stuff, the CeeDee Lamb stuff. The Packers allowing 168 passing yards per game, so I'll stay off of that. But I like Love.
Luke Schoonmaker over 2.5 receiving yards.
That's a good play. 2.5 yards? I thought you were going to say receptions. Yards is crazy.
Well, let me see what he's done this year. Luke Schoonmaker over 2.5. He's got one catch for 5 yards. Last week against the Bears. He's
got it.
Well, yeah. I mean, one catch, 5 yards in a game where they got smoked in. They could be getting smoked in this one. You're not going to have Ferguson out there. I love that play. I love it.
That's what is that? Oh, is it Deebo Samuel? I saw Deebo Samuel for over 3.5 rushing yards. And I was like, it's one carry. He's gonna get that. I love those kind of props.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy. Anything else on this game, Grant, before we move into Monday Night Football?
Call your local health and wellness centers, your local emergency rooms, make sure they have some beds cleared out. Cowboys gonna need them.
I love this parlay here. Okay, I'll take the Packers money line. I'll take
Schoonmaker.
Well, I'm going all the games we talked about. I'm going to go Packers money line. I'm going to take the Chiefs to, let's see,
+10.5 maybe.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs to +10.5 here. Let me get this going. Chiefs +10.5. Damn, that's -500. That sucks. And then I'll take the Bucs 3.5. I don't need any freaking points, any extra points with them. +194 right there. Boom. All the games we talked about.
Well, I mean, if you do a 7-point teaser, you get the Bucs at 10.5. You get the Packers at 0. You get basically on money line, and then you get the
Chiefs 9.5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's still not as good odds, I don't think. But you know what? I'll just take them all to win. I think Packers win, Bucs win outright. And you know what? Why not? Give me the Chiefs on the money line. So, Grant, we got 2 terrible Monday Night Football games this week. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on these. We're just going to give you guys a pick and a prop for each one. But it starts with somebody's got to win. That's the best way to say this in the Jets-Dolphins game. Somebody in the AFC East is coming out victorious on Monday night. 7:15 kickoff. I hate doubleheaders. I hate Monday night doubleheaders. I hate when they're 7:15 and 8:15. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I like the one we did a couple weeks ago where it was 7 and 10. That one worked out better for me, even though I didn't want to watch the 10 o'clock game. But do you like this, Grant?
It doesn't make sense. I can't watch one of the games unless you get the YouTube TV split view or something, or you've got 2 TVs next to each other. But even when you're doing that, you're not immersed in what's happening. You're flicking back and forth.
So Jets-Dolphins here. The Dolphins are a much better football team, but I could easily see the Jets winning the game. That's my mindset coming to this one. How do you see it playing out? I
get what you're saying there. Justin Fields, not a good quarterback. First game back off a concussion. This is the battle of the concussed quarterbacks. Dolphins are a much better team.
Tua wins that. I mean, Tua, nobody. Tua is an all-pro.
In concussions.
All concussed team. Tua's all concussed.
First team all concussion.
And I had concussions, people, so I can say that. Remember the fingers? That's disgusting. Remember that? How do you even play football after that? You've made just go be an analyst. Go be an analyst for Hawaii football or something. I don't know. Go back to the island and do color commentary for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Well, you know what's funny? He started, I think last year and the year before that, he started the years really well, and then he trailed off as the year went on. This season, he's just been terrible from the jump.
They've been competitive offensively. Like you look at their offense and how they play and how they move people and the speed that they have. Like Mike McDaniel, I'd hire him as an OC in a minute. He's a cool OC. I can't hire him to be my head football coach though.
He gives me Cliff Kingsbury vibes. I look at them
like,
both as genius OCs who probably don't have the they don't know how to set the culture and be a head coach.
No, yeah, like good in the quarterback room. Like all the quarterbacks love him, good buddies, but like he's just not. He can't police like linebackers not showing up to meetings on time. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the reports that like nobody shows up to meetings and discipline's an issue and people aren't held accountable, and that's played a role in why a lot of their downfalls happen?
It's also hard too because you're in Miami, and like I can't see him being a head coach anywhere besides Miami, like with his vibe. But you're also in Miami. It's not like you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's easy. They all show up to practice. They got nothing else to do.
Yeah, one of the first jobs I ever had, I worked retail at a running store. It's called Potomac River Running, and we sold shoes and stuff like that. And my boss was actually a former Olympian. He ran the 800 meter, which is 2 laps. And like legitimately I think he went to 2 Olympics. He was a high school champion. He was a college national champion. Represented Haiti. He was really good. But he was born and raised in Miami. And when he was getting recruited, he basically said that I'm not going to Miami, and everybody was furious with him. A fun story: Rick Ross he came to one of his high school track meets and bet on him just with his buddies. They had some sort of wager. So like he was a big deal down there in Miami. And so when he said that he wasn't going to Miami, everybody was confused. They said, why? He went to the University of Florida, which of course is a huge rival. He said, because I've been in Miami long enough to know that if you stay here, you never achieve what you actually could have. You'll never hit your potential staying here because there's too many distractions.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Plus, I mean, Tyreek Hill's got a lot of children, so
and a lot of legal issues.
A lot of legal. That was wild. The prime like just pipe in like, hey, it's got eight counts of domestic violence. The NFL's investigating right now. It's like he's about to go out there for his drive.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we'll go down the field to who does
I don't know.
We'll go down the field to the sideline reporter with an update on Tyreek Hill. Yeah, Tyreek Hill's being investigated for 8 counts of domestic violence. It was like crazy stuff.
It's straight out of a commercial too. Just no warning. They just dropped you right into it.
It's like you think it's going to be like, oh, he's had a slow start to the season. No, 8 counts, domestic violence. So Tyreek Hill's got a lot going on right now in the NFL. We don't have a ton of props for this game. The one play I would probably make here, I think that Tua is going to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Jets, I don't think are going to handle the speed of the Dolphins well. Offensively, they've been able to move the football all season. They can't finish on defense. Tua is going to throw an interception at some point in this game. We know how that works, but I'll take him over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's a solid play. It's not for me, but I am going to take the Dolphins minus 2.5. So if one happens, the other probably happens as well. I do think the Dolphins are a better team. Jets clearly have more defensive talent, but they have not put that to good use, despite Aaron Glenn being a defensive-minded coach. Their defensive numbers are awful. Don't trust this offense whatsoever, especially with Justin Fields coming back off concussion. So do think the Dolphins get a win on the board. And you know what? Yeah, but give me. I'll throw in Breece Hall. Give me the over on Breece Hall, 47.5 rushing yards. It's going to be a rushing game. The Dolphins are soft. They've got no defensive personnel. All their corners are out, so they're going to have to drop everybody back. Front opens up. Breece Hall gets to, if he runs 12 times, 4 yards of carry, that's 48 yards. He's got to get over 47.5. So, yeah, give me Breece.
Dolphins get the win, though.
Yes.
All right, and then we get to watch the best quarterback of our generation play in Bo Nix at 8:15. He's so good.
Worst quarterback in the NFL this season.
So the Broncos are a 7.5-point favorite in this game. I like the Bengals plus 7.5. Browning cannot be worse than he was last week. There's no possible way because I played the Vikings in fantasy and they destroyed me. So it's impossible for Browning to be that bad. It's impossible for anybody on that field to be that bad. I think you got to get your receivers involved. Just chuck the ball up not Justin Jefferson, to Jamar Chase. Just throw the ball up in the air and let him go catch it. You're going to be in better situations. Probably not going to get picked off, and you might get a big play. I'll take the Bengals plus 7.5 here. The Broncos offense has not shown me any reason for them to be a 7.5 point favorite. I know they're very good defensively, but again, the Bengals just went up against a better defense in Minnesota last week. I think they will be better than they were. And this game just screams like 7-point win for the Broncos to me. So I'll take 7.5.
So I'm not betting it, but that is my pick. If you ask me what is the pick, I'm with you on the Bengals. I feel Bo Nix, like I said, we joke because, I'm a big Jaden Daniels guy. That's the root of all of this. So Tanner said, messing with me, said Bo Nix was rookie of the year, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's where it comes from for some of the new viewers that we have because we are growing. So shout out to everybody who's hopped on board. Bo Nix has been the worst quarterback in the NFL this season. That's what all the advanced metrics will tell you. I do think he's better than that. I don't think he's good. I think he's better than that. This Bengals defense is atrocious. Some of his struggles have been related to turning the ball over. I don't think he'll do that against the Bengals. And I am going to take him over 18.5 rushing yards in this game. He is a mobile guy. In 2 games this season, or twice this season, he's at 8 carries in a game. He's gone over in 2 of 3 games. And in the one he did not get over this line, he missed it by a half a yard. So I do think he will be right around there. And I would absolutely take the Broncos to win. I like what you said. Maybe they're up by 14 and Browning scores a late touchdown. Maybe they're just up 7 the whole game. I don't know, but I think it does stay close-ish, even though you probably never really think the Bengals are going to win.
Jake Browning under a half an interception. Plus 140. You got to take it. You got to at least try.
So you got to at least try. So I was looking at this because I wanted to see last year he basically didn't play in 23. So he got 14 passing attempts against the Ravens. I would assume that means he came in the middle of the game. No interception there. Next week, yes, interception. Next week, no interception. Then he has 3 straight games with an interception, week without it, and then a week with it. So that's 4 games without an interception and 5 games with one. And then so far this season, he has interceptions in both games. So I get it. It sounds kind of crazy and it is attractive, but he does throw a lot of picks.
But if I'm Zach Taylor, I'm emphasizing ball control this week.
Don't throw an interception.
Don't throw an interception. Put the film on. Say, do not throw it to the other team. So
do you feel like there's been a movement among the good teams with the good quarterbacks to say, look, don't hunt the big play all the time, just control the ball? Because Lamar, think about it. Goff barely throws picks. I mean, he might have a 5 interception game against the Texans, but now he barely throws picks. Lamar barely throws picks. Burrow doesn't throw a lot of picks. Hurts doesn't throw picks. Jaden doesn't throw picks. Jordan Love now doesn't throw picks.
It's hard in the NFL. It's hard to win by a lot of points. Again, they all drive nice cars. Doesn't matter if you're the Dolphins. It doesn't matter if you're the Chiefs. Y'all drive nice cars. So it's hard to win by a lot of points. Don't turn the ball over. If you just don't beat yourself in the NFL, chances are you're going to be in a spot at the end of the game. Like you look at last night, the Cardinals beat themselves multiple times, but their defense played so well, the Seattle Seahawks still weren't able to put them away throughout the game. So if you just don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance to win every week in the NFL. Because most of the time, unless you have the Cowboys defense, you're gonna be. It's hard to score. It's hard to score a lot of points.
One thing when we get off of here, since I am dabbling in graph chart making, like I said, I'm gonna go see if I can put together a chart on turnovers. I don't know to do turnover margin or giveaways per game, but I'll do one of those against explosive play rate, and I'll see if there is is one more predictive of being a good team versus the other.
All right. Well, I'll be looking for that, Grant. Any other final thoughts on these games?
They're awful. The Broncos are not that good, at least until Bo Nix remembers how to play football, and I question if he ever did know. The Bengals stink. Browning has 5 interceptions in 6 quarters. The Jets and the Dolphins have 0 wins this season. We've had some great primetime games up until this point. I think that ends on Monday night.
Someone tweeted flex it to Nickelodeon. Flex these games.
So, the Nickelodeon broadcasts are electric, though.
They are. Honestly, I won't even be watching football Monday night. I'll be watching playoff baseball. I don't think I'll tune in for these games.
That's probably the right call. Catch the highlights
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah. Anyways, that was Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. Grant, take us out of here.
Guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Ride the Line. If you made it to the end, then smash the like button. Okay, we just gave you an hour, so you can give us 2 seconds out of your day to make sure you do hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well if you are new around here. To the new subscribers, the new viewers, we appreciate you guys. Make sure you go to the comment section. Let us know what you think we got right, what you think we got wrong. We'll be responding to everybody, and we will catch you all in the next episode of Ride the Line.